Steve Cunningham versus Czar Glazkov. Really interesting fight. Two guys who are top 10, top 15 heavyweights battling it out. We always like to see these fights. Glazkov is a guy I feel is hugely overrated. Now that's not to say he can't go on to be a good fighter, but based on what he's achieved so far, I feel he's been hugely overrated as a prospect. I understand he's got a good amateur background. I understand he's got a good jab. But let's look at the guy. Firstly, he's small for a heavyweight. I know Steve Cunningham is as well, but Steve Cunningham isn't talked about in the same way as Glazkov, and few people rate Steve Cunningham as highly as Glazkov. I imagine Glazkov is a big favourite for this fight. But Glazkov, he's a small guy. He's got a good amateur record and a good jab, but very limited power. For me, he is a fighter who struggles to deal with experienced, ring-savvy, technical boxers. Malik Scott beat Glazkov in my opinion when they fought. I also thought he was very, very lucky to win against Derek Rossi. That was a very controversial fight. Now, what does Glazkov actually bring to the table? He's got some fairly credible wins to his name. You know, the Thomas Ademic win, for example, is certainly a big name on his record. But there were times in that fight, for me, Ademic fading, getting older, questions how much desire he has left. But there were times in that fight where Ademic was able to have several rounds of success against Glazkov. And I just feel that Glazkov is potentially vulnerable based on what I saw in the Malik Scott fight. This is why I think Steve Cunningham's an awful opponent for him. Yes, Cunningham's getting older. Yes, Cunningham's small. But to me, Cunningham's still putting in very good performances. You know, I look at his last fight against Natu Vyacheslav. You know, Vyacheslav was very limited. He wasn't as technically good as Glazkov. But for me, Cunningham's still got quite a lot of movement. He's still got quite a lot of jab left in him. Yeah, he's an athletic guy, he's a technician, and I could see him causing very similar problems for Glazkov as Malik Scott did. You know, I know Cunningham is, you know, come up from cruiserweight, but he's also very tough, very durable, and with Glazkov's questionable power, I see this one going the distance. You know, Cunningham went, you know, he fought Amir Mansour, who's a much bigger puncher in my opinion than Glazkov, and beat him. You know, he fought Vyacheslav last time out and did really well. I think Cunningham's still got quite a lot left. And I think he could well be too experienced, too ring savvy. And I think we could see him have slightly more success than Malik Scott did. And get the unanimous decision here. It's a close fight. Glazkov's obviously a lot fresher. He's very highly regarded. And I don't discount him. But if I'm choosing one, I'm for Steve Cunningham here. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.